Hi, I'm Anita from Daydreams of Quilts. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a featured in the stars block, and this is a pattern that I have available on my Etsy shop and my website. I'll link to that in the description below, but this is what the block looks like. It's a 12 by 12 inch block finished, and it has a feature fabric in the center, so that's why it's called Featured in the Stars. And this quilt that I'm working on right now is made with all Juicy Juice fabrics, and I'll just flash up his Instagram handle in case you haven't heard of him, but he's pretty famous and I would love to meet him someday. He seems like a wonderful person. So this quilt can be made either monochromatic, and I've done a couple of baby quilts in monochrome, so I'll show those here on the screen. And then it can also be done in rainbow, and that's what I'm doing today. So there are two different techniques in the pattern for the half square triangles down in the corner. You can either do 8 at a time for a monochrome quilt or just by the block for a rainbow quilt. So we're going to be doing the by the block method today. So for just block by block sewing, we are going to take 2 of our background squares and just draw a diagonal line across. And then I just put the 1/4 inch line on my ruler right on that diagonal line. And I draw another line, and same on the other side. And this is how we're going to make the 4 half square triangles for the outer corner of the block. So it's pretty quick. So I'm just going to put the fabrics right sides together and sew on these 2 outer lines, and then I'll come back and cut. Okay, so there are my stitches. So now I'm just going to line my ruler up with the 1/4 inch line on one of the stitch lines and just cut. And then I will press towards the darker fabric. And then we just need to square them up after. Okay, so they're all pressed to the darker fabric. And now I'm just going to line up the diagonal line on my ruler with the stitch line and just trim off these little bits of excess on the sides to square up the block, or square up the piece of the block. So I'm just going to do that for all 4 corners, and that step will be done. Okay, next we're going to do the points that make the star. So we're just going to have 2 pieces of our star fabric face down on these rectangles, and we're going to draw a diagonal line from the center out on both sides so that we know what to sew on. So we'll just sew on the diagonal from the middle of the rectangle to the outer corners, and then we'll come back and trim. Okay, so this is what it looks like with the seams on. So now we just need to line up the 1/4 inch line on our ruler with our stitch line and trim away the outside corners. And then we'll just flip these corners out and press towards the orange or the colored. So you just do that 4 times to make the 8 points of the star. And then once you have all your pieces put together, you just lay out your quilt block, and you're going to sew the sides to the center and the corner triangles to the top and bottom, and then just press your seams in opposite directions So I press my seams towards this center, and then I press them towards the half square triangles, and then we'll just put the whole block together. And there we go. Our Featured in the Stars block is all put together and ready to go into our quilt top. Thank you for sewing along with me today. I hope you had fun learning this tutorial for this block. And the pattern is available at daydreamsofquilts.ca or in our Etsy shop. Okay, have a good day. Happy sewing.